This is the 2025 forecast for the sign of Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Venus, Jupiter, rising signs. Also, if you're interested in somebody who has a lot of planetary placements in the sign of Aquarius, this might be of interest. This is a general reading, so it might not resonate. So if it doesn't come back in a couple months, um, it might be a little bit more helpful then. So we're going to start off by pulling some Moonology cards. This will narrow down, I think, a few of the important months of the year. Um, then we'll pull some cards from the tarot to talk about relationships and partnerships, families, friends, career partnerships. Uh, and then we'll pull some cards from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck to get some messages about life paths, mental health, health in general. And then we'll pull some cards from another tarot deck to get some messages on finances and career. And then we'll end by pulling some cards from the Animal Oracle deck to get some messages that'll tell us we're on the right track as we go through the year of 2025. Okay, so let's see what months are going to be important for the sign of the our sign of Aquarius. So what does Aquarius need to know? I'm getting the number four, so four cards for the sign of Aquarius. But for the collective, it's kind of been coming in that January and February might be the most difficult months of the year. We'll see if that comes in for you as well. But um, let's see. Four cards for sign of Aquarius. So we get a personal issue reaches resolution. So this could be, a legal case that's pending. It could be a health issue. It could be, something that a lot of people don't know about, something that you're not really wanting to be well known by a lot of people. This corresponds to the full moon in Cancer. The full moon in Cancer this year is on January 13th. So this should be happening fairly soon for you, Aquarius. Plus or minus, 4 weeks. Uh, so know that that's uh, gonna find its place soon. And then we get a new romantic cycle begins. So there's going to be this potential for romance this year. This corresponds to the new moon in Libra. The new moon in Libra is in October 21st. So that month of October might be a good month for starting a relationship or rekindling an existing relationship. Um, this is just a special moon card, it doesn't correspond to a specific date. It, or the way I'm interpreting them for these readings, adjustments are required. So you might need to do some self-discovery, some self-rediscovery. You might need to make some tweaks to your finances in order to live your best life. This year, I think in getting this is more about money. Uh, you know, it might be just as simple as, you know, taking some steps to save a little bit more money. I don't think it means that more money needs to come in, but maybe just making some adjustments to your budget to get all that you can get out of the money that you do have. And then your hard work is paying off. This is the new moon in Capricorn. That actually happened on December 30th of 2024. There is no new moon in Capricorn in 2025. So that month of January seems to be like a really big month, as does October. So your hard work is paying off. I think this corresponds. Something you're doing is going to help this personal issue resolve itself. So keep doing what you're doing at the beginning of the month and have faith that it's going to resolve whatever issue it is. And then come October, um, that might be a good time to start a new romantic relationship. Although that doesn't mean that the person that the relationship will be started with isn't somebody that you already know. So keep that in mind as you're going through the year, that kindling friendships and then them turning into romances later is something that's going to happen for some of you. And if you're already partnered or married, uh, October seems like a good time to take a vacation or something to rekindle the romance, however that resonates with you. Okay, what does Libra need to know about relationships, partnerships, friends, family, and the month and the year of 2025? Does Libra, I'm sorry, not Libra, Aquarius. What does Aquarius need to know about partnerships, relationships, friends, families, and the year 2025? Aquarius needs to know. I'm getting the Judgment card in my head. I think this can mean a few different things. I think, reserve judgment until you have enough information, but also don't fall into this cycle of feeling like others are judging you as not um, being good enough or of a higher social status, or whatever it is that you feel the judgments about. It's sometimes those things are just in our head and not in reality. I'm getting that. So we get the Hanged Man. This is about pausing, suspension, looking at things in a new perspective. So um, maybe approaching uh, some relationships that have stalled out, and particularly with family is what I'm getting. Um, these might be forced into interacting with people that you haven't interacted with in the past. I don't get that there's like this real tension between you, but just kind of there's been some time since you spoke. This might lead into some really good relationships that you can pull from as the year goes by. We get the Tower card, so there's going to be some explosiveness in the relationship factor here. That could correspond to the romance. The Tower card is normally interpreted as being a negative card. I don't think that it needs to be that way. Here, the romantic cycle might be fast and furious, which is also very exciting. This also could refer to maybe discovering something about somebody that's really unexpected that you didn't know. Like you felt like you really knew this person, and then all of a sudden you realize you didn't. Um, I'm sorry if that's what you're gonna go through. That can be very uncomfortable and disturbing. But that's the energy I'm feeling. I'm also feeling that, you know, this tower moment could be a physical change in address. So just moving to a new location unexpectedly because of a work opportunity or something like that, which might cause some fraying of some relationships and partnerships. And then we get the Five of Wands. This is, battles. I think these are mostly internal battles with yourself, of this feeling of, I'm not good enough, or, sometimes we go through phases where we don't want to be seen. Like we just feel uncomfortable and anxious. And it's like, okay, I'm going to go to the grocery store and I'm going to be in and out as fast as possible. Those are okay times. Those are healing times. So I don't think this means that you're actually going to like start fighting with a bunch of people. I don't see that happening. But if you are fighting with people, I do get that that'll find a resolution. So that might correspond to that, a personal issue will resolve itself. So, um, so it might be a bit of a rocky road with relationships this year, Aquarius, but I think overall, it's gonna require it's more about you doing self work than people actually um, creating tension. The tension either already exists and it exists for a reason. So I get the Eight of Cups also was popped up in the water. So if a relationship isn't serving you anymore, it's okay to walk away. I mean, that's a hard lesson for some people to learn, and some people never do learn it, that, it's okay not to have certain people in your life. So just know that you are the only one that needs to be comfortable with those decisions. Okay, so what messages do we have for Aquarius? Life path, health, mental health. Um, what messages do we have for Aquarius? So let's pick three cards from the Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck. So we get the Hermit card. This is kind of what I was sensing. This idea of retreat and recharge and do some, self-discovery or self-rediscovery. And I think that's going to be good for your health and mental health to kind of work on yourself, so to speak. Now, you could do this. I feel for some of you, you might do this using a professional, like a counselor. Some of you might do this through, exercise, yoga, meditation, mindfulness, nutrition. Um, Whatever way for you, Aquarius, that is going to be a way of self-healing. It's almost as if something has happened in the past. I got this for another sign as well, that has caused you to feel almost like you're not deserving. And just know that that's a you problem. That's something you need to work on, and you will. And I think it'll come to a conclusion, either early parts of this year or definitely by the time October comes around. So we get the Arrow card. Surround yourself with protective energy. Again, this is about taking care of yourself and choosing that, if you have that close knit group of friends that you can trust, or family, or counselors, doctors, anything that fits in that group. If you have that those connections that you can pull from to learn how to help propel yourself forward, if you are kind of in this funky stage of feeling, there's been some traumatic events geopolitically, so it's not surprising that the collective is getting kind of these messages of taking time to reflect and to heal. Um, and then we get uh, Earth Guardian, stay rooted and grounded. I think this is super important. The interpretation I have for this card for you in this particular reading is know what's real and what's not real. So a lot of the like self-deprecating humor has its place, but if you find yourself this year walking through life and like, um you don't quite hold the door for somebody and you apologize, or you're a little bit late to something and you apologize, and somebody comes over and you're out of their favorite coffee creamer and you're saying I'm sorry. Don't be apologizing for your existence. That's nobody is blaming you for those things. This is just something that sometimes we develop this rut in life. um, where we go through these phases where we feel like we're not, you know, doing things correctly. So stay grounded and stay rooted and know that you're just going to be working through some cycles this year to kind of set yourself up for better. And again, I think this is only in the first part of the year. I think the second half of the year for you is going to be pretty fantastic. Let's pull some cards about career and finances. Okay, so what does Aquarius need to know about career and finances in 2025? So I'm getting the Six of Pentacles. I think there might be some opportunities for investments that you're unaware of that'll make themselves known. Also, if somebody owes you money, I feel like you might get that back this year. So, and also if you might owe somebody money, that the money that you need to pay them back will appear and you'll be able to do that. Um, I also feel like for those of you that are retired, there might be some opportunities uh, to volunteer that might prove to um, help strengthen your self-worth, I guess is the way to phrase it. Let's see what the tarot says. So yeah, so this is about travel. I think, the Chariot card it can be about travel. Um, if you're retired and you're wanting to take a trip, or if you're not retired and you have the means to take a trip and the time to take a trip, um, that might actually lead to furthering your finances in your career. And I use the term finances slightly loosely because really what we mean is a building abundance, right? Abundance doesn't necessarily mean monetary gain. Um, and then we get the Queen of Pentacles. You're going to be very steady about your finances this year, Aquarius. So make sure you're checking your credit card statements, make sure you're checking your bank statements and paychecks to make sure they're the right amount and everything's going to work out. You're going to be focused on finances a lot this year. Um, but I think the abundance is going to start to happen towards the later part of the year. I think everybody's going to be kind of worried about finances in the beginning part of the year, so that's that's normal. But I think for you, you're you're going to be on it. You're going to be steady. I see some of you already planning budgets and ways to save money. That's just a sign if you're doing that that you're on the right track. Uh, the Nine of Wands, you're weirdly optimistic that things are going to go your way. And I think they are. Again, I think it's going to be towards the later stages. I think you're going to approach this year cautiously, and it's going to require some self-reflection. But ultimately, you're going to end up at this Queen of Wands energy. Um, and it's going to happen kind of fast. And uh, then you'll uh, find that you know, things are more abundant towards the end of the year, and things are going to start to shift away from that trauma that's happened, in the past, whether that's the trauma that happened to the collective or it's the trauma that happened to you, something happened to you specifically. All right. So what messages can we get from the Animal Oracle deck for the sign of Aquarius? So we'll pull 5 cards. These will serve as totems. If you see these animals in nature or in decor, these will serve as like messages from the universe that everything you're doing is on track. So, cards do you have for Aquarius this year? So I'm getting this idea of, really maybe taking the time to learn some mindfulness. I'm not a mental health professional. This is just a tarot reading, but taking that time out to breathe seems to be important, maybe not just for you, but the collective. This is kind of what I was feeling with regards to the finances. Sweet results await. This is the bee spirit. This might be towards the end part of the year, but you're going to get something good's going to really happen this year for you financially and romantically. If you desire the romance, that is. If you don't, that's, just leave it. The Badger spirit, be fearless and bold. So take time to, like, do that self-discovery and rediscovery, and then just like go out into the world and be fearless, be bold, show the world who you really are, because the world will appreciate who you really are. Um, the koala spirit has a plan for you. So, those kind of anxious moments, or those moments where we need to do some self-reflection, they might not be the most comfortable moments, but no, that's just part of the plan. So, we need those moments. That's part of the universe's plan for you. Um, the bat spirit, rebirth is assured. You're going to come out of this year refreshed, renewed, and this is going to happen, I believe, in the later part of the year for you. And you're going to feel almost like a different person. I'm getting for some of you, and I'm sorry that I think this has already happened, uh, that some of you maybe have lost your life partner. They've crossed over. Um, and if that's the trauma that has been coming through, um, the message is that the grief will find its place. Uh, you'll work through it, but eventually, a rebirth is assured. It'll find its place. It feels really hard right now, and I'm sorry you're going through that, but you will come out on the other side as you, but you in a different light. Um, and then the chameleon spirit, this is kind of the law of attraction card. Act as if. So if you're wanting a new job, act as if you've already got it. If you're wanting a new romantic relationship, act as if it's already happened. If you're wanting to rekindle a relationship, act as if it's already happened. That is what that card is about. So as you're going through the year, if you see a bat, or a bat as decor, or a koala, any of these, the badger, the bee, the chameleon, or just a lizard, probably more in general. If you see any of those as you're going through the year, just know that that's the universe's way of saying you're on the right track. All right. Leave me a message if this resonated for you. I hoped it was helpful. I wish you abundance and prosperity in 2025. Thanks for watching, and have a great new year.